This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here at the Seasoned Chef Cooking School. Since 1993, they have provided classes for the home and recreational cook, folks here in Denver and surrounding areas. Thanks so much for joining us, Dan. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. Sure. Quite honestly, for nearly a quarter of a century, the Seasoned Chef has been here helping people through the kitchen. Share with me a little bit about your passion, how this got started for you.
I started cooking 38 years ago, and I'm classically trained. I did an apprenticeship back in Southern California. So my mentor was a Belgian chef who was also classically trained. And so all of my training is in classic Western European cuisine, which is the foundation of everything.
Foundation of everything. Let me ask you this. Nothing is more satisfying or enjoyable than sitting down to a great meal. But I have to ask you, it is also satisfying and enjoyable for the person who creates that meal. Is that what you find as well?
Absolutely. That's the truth. And our goal is to teach them how to cook, not how to follow recipes, but how to cook using techniques rather than recipes. So not only are they able to accomplish whatever they want, but they can also be creative.
Be creative. All of us love to introduce a meal to a loved one or to a spouse, maybe to family. What about folks who want to actually entertain others? Share with me a little bit what the home cook versus the recreational cook. What does that mean?
Well, it's one and the same, actually, but some people just want to add that value-added thing of doing bigger parties. So we always say, your number one goal is to cook for yourself, your friends, and your family. And when you're cooking for yourself and your family, it's nourishment. When you're cooking for your friends, it tends to be more entertainment, a little bit more recreational. When you're throwing a party.
Absolutely. Like any hobby out there or profession, plenty of knowledge has to be taken into account. Really, this is a collective knowledge over many instructors. You have quite a base of instructors. Tell me a little bit about the team that is able to make this possible.
Well, every instructor that we have has experience in the food service industry. They all have a big background. Nobody just went to cooking school and learned how to cook and said, hey, I'm going to be an instructor. Yeah, it doesn't work. So everyone, when they're teaching from their experience, which means the students are hearing their knowledge because they've experienced it, not just read about it. So that translates very well to our student base. And so and I've got great instructors.
That is great. Without a guide in the kitchen here, I would have to say you're not only teaching them how to cook, but really what to cook. For me, the kitchen can be a little intimidating. Is this what you kind of try to do, make it a laid-back atmosphere where people can learn?
Well, it's got to be user-friendly first and foremost. And we are trying to instill confidence in everybody, realizing that television shows make cooking mysterious, and our job is to unravel those mysteries and make you realize that it's very accessible, very easy to understand, and applicable to a wide variety. For instance, tonight's class is all techniques, how to do certain things that just plain work. You want to learn how to make a soup? Great. Learn how to make a soup, now you can make 1,000 soups. That's the perfect example of what I'm talking about, what we're talking about right here. Learn those techniques.
Excellent. So regardless of the skill level somebody may have out there, be it a novice to the advanced, there's always more to learn. I imagine this is the kind of a hobby that never gets old, never gets boring, because you're never going to master every meal out there.
Absolutely right. I haven't gotten tired of teaching yet, and I've been doing it for 18 years. It's really been a blessing for me to be able to get paid to do it, quite frankly. So I hope it never gets old. And it never gets old for the students because it's always new to them.
Do you believe the techniques that are used pretty much in every kitchen across the world, can those techniques be taught? Obviously, you've seen this firsthand, not only great instructors, but also really clear and informative direction. Is that what takes place? Kind of walk me through what happens in a class.
Well, that's what I do. It's all techniques, especially when we're talking about basic skills. You only need a handful of those techniques. So what we do in the class is we have an opening lecture, and we present what we're going to learn, and then we do it. We get everybody broken up, and everybody's working on different moving parts. And then when the techniques are being taught, when we're actually focusing on the technique that drives that, everybody's together, experiencing it all together, and of course dining on it as well, which I think is the full circle connection, because you want to have the full experience. Then we close with getting questions answered, making sure everybody understands the material, and then there's homework, which is go home and cook, because you've got to get some practice. In a professional program, they teach you one thing and then you drill it for a week until you really understand it. Here, we're saying, the drill is go home and cook. And you're not going to get graded, and you're not going to get punished for being late. and you're not going to be charged anywhere near as much.
That is great. Let's touch on a few of the classes here. Let's start off with a class called Basic Skills Every Cook Should Know. Tell me, what are they going to learn in there?
Well, that's a class I've been teaching here every month since 2005. And what they're going to learn is how to saute, how to roast, how to emulsify a dressing, how to blanch, which is like cooking pasta, but more behind it. The techniques of cooking grain, the techniques of braising, basic pastry work, basic soup making, as I already mentioned, and all the things in between, as well as some good fundamentals of sauce making as well, so the food tastes good. And they're all very fundamental. And from what I've seen of the students, having been literally taught this class to a couple thousand people, they always tell me when I see them again, cooking in the home is easier and the food tastes better, and I make far fewer mistakes.
That is excellent. I mean, I know for myself, I would love to master a little bit of the kitchen, get around in it. But honestly, I mean, I look at the knives in front of me. I don't even know which knife to use. Is knife using 101 a good place for people to start, just to start learning about a little bit of the tools?
This knife right here, this is the chef knife. This is the most important tool in the kitchen. Because if you're going to eat fresh food, you've got to cut it up. And this is the knife that every chef has mastered, because it is the knife for work on the cutting board. All the other knives that come in a knife kit are for work off the board. Paring knives, boning knives, different knives like that. This is the knife for the board. So it's going to do 80 to 90% of all your work. So we have a class for mastering the chef knife. And we just basically spend 2 hours breaking bad habits.
That is great. I know for myself, I love when my wife comes in the kitchen, she puts something together. She loves it when I come in the kitchen, put something together. Is this something we can do together as a couple? I mean, is the classroom a nice place to get together and experience?
That is our fastest growing demographic, is couples coming to classes. We see that much more than I did 18 years ago when I started. It was mostly women, as you can imagine, and mostly women who ran households. You know, would probably still be employed and things like that. But now our number one demographic is couples of all ages who are coming as a date night, as an event, as a way to do something fun and get far more out of it than just a meal, but have an experience and take knowledge away that's applicable in their home. Because everything we teach works in the home.
This is much more than meals just taste good, but actually look good as well. Is presentation something that is actually taught? I imagine a class like Eat the Rainbow, that has to be pretty colorful for our eyes as well as our palate.
Well, it's not so much a presentation of the food, because that is actually a food as medicine class. Eating the Rainbow is one of the more current ways to express how to have an antioxidant diet, eating a wide variety of different colors of vegetables. So that class is actually a healthy cooking class. It's what you were saying a minute ago. It's what to eat. How to cook is the fundamentals of the school. Learn that and then learn what to cook. And that's basic. That's as simple as I can say it. Really.
And things that go together as well. I mean, it's great to see the couples pair up, but we're talking about food pairing, everything from pork belly to what craft beer goes good with a certain meal. Is that something people seem to enjoy?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. So we do that when we can, just to get people more, bigger experience than just the cooking part. Simple as that, because a good beverage is always a good part of a good meal.
That is excellent. I'm looking through the menu there. I see all the different classes on the calendar, everything from steak to seafood. I'm even seeing some cookies and fancy French macaroons that I can't even explain what they are. But is that something that people enjoy for a sweet tooth as well?
Absolutely. And not only that, a lot of people enjoy those classes, but we do those in the summertime for young people. Our baking classes in the summertime for groups of ages 11 to 17 is always sold out.
Can a person join in on a class any time of the year? How do they get started so they can walk in, get the recipe packet, and start having some fun?
Well, we're going to roll out the red carpet, of course. So all the enrollments can be done online. The prices are there. You can pay online, so you don't have to do anything but enroll. We automatically cut off. We don't like taking any more than 18 people if we can help it, because we want to make sure that we don't overstuff the classes and create chaos, which can happen. I've done that. And once they get here, they're given a recipe packet. We put out some snacks for them to eat and make them sit wherever they want, get comfortable, ask all the questions they want. And everything I do is try to make people as comfortable in the learning experience as well as their own kitchen as I humanly possibly can.
You have been at this for some time. You're a third owner here at the local kitchen here. Does this continue to be rewarding for you as you see new people come in, maybe not knowing the difference between the kitchen knife or the butter knife, and walk out of here with a little bit of confidence?
It's never gotten old. Never. I love it. Absolutely do.
Excellent. Last time, let's take a look here, viewers, at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their contact information. You can also take a look at the website. They got the complete calendar on there if you're not sure when classes are coming up. Also check them out on Facebook. They'll keep you apprised of anything they've got going there. Every type of class you can think of out there as far as pairing up with craft beer, checking it out, making your house a steakhouse. That can all take place for you there as well. This is an organization that began back in 1993, really have been helping people around the kitchen for nearly 25 years. That is the Seasoned Chef Cooking School, located right here in Denver, Colorado. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.